Welcome to Or Something Like That,
the podcast where you can talk shit with your besties.
We're your hosts, Sam
and Hollis. Be sure to follow us on social and subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode.
And if you love us, give us that 5-star review.
One, two, three, four.
All right.
Hey, friends.
Hi.
We're here.
We are here.
We are here after a fun weekend celebrating Hollis' birthday.
It was so fun.
It was a really good time.
Thank you to my podcast host. You made it so special.
You are welcome.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I hope every girl has a friend like you in their lives who is willing to treat them to such a nice birthday weekend.
I hope so too. Yeah. It was a really good time. So we stayed at the Conrad since we're not there anymore. Figured it's okay to tell everyone. I mean, we didn't want to get mobbed, by all of our adoring fans while we were there. So, but it was such a great stay. I mean, the staff was amazing. The hotel was so accommodating. They asked if we were there for anything special. And of course we told them it was Hollis' birthday, and they got her some nice chocolates.
Sent up to the room.
Yeah.
It is just, when you stay at a nice hotel, like, the perks are nice. Just the little things of like, you know, everyone takes care of you. You can't take your own bags down. You have to do, they want to do everything. It is nice, like there is a big difference staying in a nice hotel.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And we went to the spa. The spa was right there in the hotel. Yes. Super nice.
Yeah. There was a little mix up with the spa, but it worked out.
We figured it all out.
Yeah. So, they only blocked off for like one of us instead of both of us. Whoopsie.
So it was a little bit of a scare, but
yes, but it worked out. We were able to have our pedicures Saturday when we got there, and then we just rebooked our massages for Sunday morning. Everybody makes mistakes, and it worked out.
Yeah, it really was fine.
Yeah.
That massage, oh my god.
Yeah,
I've only had like one other like true spa experience like that, and man, it is nice because it seems like so luxurious, and it is, but there's nothing wrong with that. And man, you feel high when you get up.
Yeah,
you're just like floating for a while.
Yeah, and we did the scalp add-on, which is scalp massage is just the best. Yeah. So the spa was great. We ordered lunch by the pool. That was nice. And
it felt nice to just like do it up.
Yeah.
Treat ourselves. It was
absolutely
fun.
Yeah.
So thanks.
You're welcome.
Oh, and then we went out to dinner. We had an awesome dinner at Bluebeard, which is so good. One of the better dining experiences I've had here. Yeah. The food was amazing.
Definitely.
I've been dreaming.
Honestly, maybe the best in Indiana. I'm trying to think if I've had a better dinner in Indiana.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was really fantastic. The chef there won a James Beard Award, and it showed. The beef tartare was definitely the best I've ever had.
No, for real. And I love beef tartare. Like, if it's on the menu, I usually get it. And
it was fantastic. Yeah.
That and the hamachi crudo. I've just been dreaming about it.
And I don't normally like yellowtail, and this was so impeccable. Good. It was so good. It was really spicy, but like such a flavorful spicy. It was amazing. Yeah. It was so good.
And friends came, so it was so fun. I mean, dinner was just a blast because it was so nice to have like a group of people there and just cut up and have cocktails and eat a bunch of food. And it was so great because everyone we ate with too was just like, we all ordered stuff individually, but then we all were just like family styling it, which is my favorite kind of way to eat. Like, I want all my friends there. I want cocktails to be afloat.
We want one of everything on the menu.
Bunch of food, and everybody just kind of like eat communally, and it was so fun. So to those of you who came out for my birthday, thank you so much. It was the best.
Yes, it was such a good time, and that cocktail was so good.
Yeah,
that it was. What was it called?
Time will tell. No, I can't remember.
Tale as old as time.
That's a great cocktail name, though.
It was so good. It was a
like
gin cocktail
thing. It was super refreshing, and
it was fabulous.
I drank them very fast.
Yeah, it was like 4 ounces of liquid in like a rocks glass.
Glug glug. Couple sips. And I was like,
had a big slice of cucumber in it.
Yeah.
It was delicious. And then we hit the town.
Oh, we had oysters. And you know what I thought was so interesting about the oysters is the presentation.
Yeah. Yes.
The oysters are great. They were small, which is how
they
I
were
like my
Prince
oysters.
Edward Island oysters,
Yeah, which are fucking money
fabulous.
always. But I'd never seen oysters served this way. It was just a presentation thing. They were on a flat plate with whipped egg whites. So the oyster was like stuck in the whipped egg whites just to kind of hold it in place.
So it didn't slide around on the plate. Yeah.
So it looked like meringue or something. And the server was like, this is whipped egg whites. Edible, but not pleasant.
Right. Yeah.
So like it was just a presentation thing, but I thought that was interesting. I'd never seen them like that.
It was, and it was so much nicer than just the big metal like bowl plate that they put the ice chips in, and it really elevated it. Yeah. It was nice. Yeah. I mean, just a delicious dinner. Highly recommend Bluebeard. If you're local to the area, go.
Really good bread too, because before Bluebeard, it was Amelia's Bakery, and then they opened Bluebeard after that, the restaurant. So the bread was amazing.
Yeah, the bread was great. It was served with like roasted mashed garlic and some different butter options. Yeah. One of them was like a garlic herb infused butter. I mean, just everything was wonderful.
I love like going out to eat and splurging on meals. It's just the best. Yeah,
it was fantastic. And then we hit the town.
Yeah, we went and played pool.
That
was really super fun. I'm glad we did that. Yeah. Went out dancing a little bit. It was a night. We
made a night of it. And then we were in line at the pizza place at like 1:30 in the morning. And it really was necessary. And it was perfect.
Yeah.
Caught an Uber with our slices. Back to the hotel room. Smashed some pizza. Went to bed.
Yeah.
It was a really fun night.
It was. So thank you.
You're welcome.
For taking me out in the town.
Yes, anytime.
Yeah.
Well, not anytime. But
we should be wearing our visors.
We should be. Oh my gosh.
And we visors.
Good.
Oh, I was just going to say the bellman gave us these super sick swaggy visors.
The old Conrad visor.
The Conrad logo on them.
They'd be perfect for the Masters. I mean, if we were at the Masters, we'd be wearing them for sure.
True that.
We were doing our content for our Come With Us to Hollis's birthday reel, which should be posted in the next day or two. And we were laughing so hard the next morning in the hotel room because,
oh my God.
I mean, we're definitely getting to an age where, you know, you go out to certain places and it's like everybody's younger than you. And we went to this bar. There was a DJ. We were dancing. And in our minds, we were really raging. Like, it was lit.
Yeah. I mean, it was all Gen Zers. Yeah. And I feel like in my head a little bit, I went up there and I was like, I'm about to show these kids how to dance. I'm about to show these kids how to throw down.
That's right.
And like, we were going hard.
You think you know how to club? We know how to club.
Step aside. Let us show you how to clurb, all right? And yeah, I was like getting low. I was doing all the shit. I thought for sure the DJ was looking at me. I was like, he gets it. He was a little older. I was like, he recognizes. And then we watched the videos back. And we were just like, it was like two grannies just like barely moving side to side, just like
At one point, Steph like bends over and I was like, oh, Steph's about to bust out a dance move. And I was like, oh no, she's just refolding her pant cuff.
I know, and I'm like, are we in slow motion? Like, is this video time lapse? Like, what's going on?
I was like, why is my memory like so much more?
Yeah, I feel like you could see the people in the background just kind of like furrowed brows, just like, what are these?
What are these moms?
What are these
doing?
ma'ams doing here?
Oh my gosh!
Oh man, so. Maybe we don't have it like we used to, but it was still a good time.
We were having fun. In our head, it was amazing.
We
were raging. Yeah. We were tearing it up. Like, yeah.
I think we still did. We still did.
I think we had some moments.
Maybe we just didn't get the camera out till like we had kind of like
probably
tucking ourselves out a little bit.
I think so, because in the height of it, you can't be filming.
No.
I mean,
Raging rule number 1. Don't waste your time with the camera. You gotta rage.
That's right. So, yeah, it was definitely just the calmer moments that were caught on camera, but it was so funny the next morning. Just like, this is it? Like, this was the bar.
It was very much like, I'm not sleeping. I'm just resting my eyes, like in a dance move.
Oh, boy.
So, anyways.
Anywho.
Good time.
Yes, good
times. Oh, man. What else did we miss? Oh, your new nickname.
My new nickname.
Vicky.
Oh my God.
We had a blast with the ladies who did our pedicures. We were really cutting it up.
Yeah.
And they walked in to get us in the relaxation room, which if I ever get super filthy rich, I'm going to put a relaxation room in my home.
Yeah.
It's just like a room that's dim with really comfy couches, and it's like 20 degrees cooler with like,
and you have the big fluffy robe on
with like soft flute music playing.
Oh yes, the traditional ambient spa music. Yeah.
It was so nice. But anyways, she came to get us for our pedicures, and she goes, Hollis and Vicky. We were the only 2 people in there. I was like, well, I'm Hollis, but it's Sam. I was like, she's Vicky now.
Yes.
Oh,
and then we joked with her a lot about just how I'm Vicky, and Vicky's now my alter ego. Yeah.
Mine's Paula from way back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in New Orleans, I was waiting on this table, this 2 couples, and the ladies got schmammered drinking wine. And I walked up, and usually I don't tell people my name when I was waiting on tables.
Yeah, I never did either, like, unless somebody asked.
Yeah, me too. Like, and Hollis, it's hard. It's a whole thing.
Also, like, you just don't need some creep knowing your name. Right. It was always like a safety thing. I feel like when you're a woman, it's like,
But with this table, I happened to, for whatever reason, at the beginning, tell them my name. And so, like, halfway through the dinner, almost to the dinner, I come back, and I'm like, all right, how's everybody doing? And they're like, oh, thank you, Paula. You've been a wonderful hostess. Just near blackout. And I was just like, no problem, lady. So, of course, I like went back in the kitchen. I was like, this lady just called me Paula. And ever since then, I was Paula. Nice. And she comes out at night.
You're kind of giving Paula.
You know, people confuse my name for Paula a lot. I think it's the vowel sound.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of a mumbler. So I think when I pronounce my name.
Especially if you don't get that S right on the end.
Yeah,
too.
or that's hard to pronounce. People don't hear the H.
Yeah.
So they're just like,
Paula?
Yeah.
Oh, must be Paula. Yeah.
Must be Paula.
That's one thing I've not experienced a lot in my life. My name's pretty easy.
Yeah,
one syllable. Like
Sam.
Yeah, and only like 3 people like refuse to call me Sam, and they've just always called me Samantha. My grandmother, and then one of my best friends growing up, her mom and brother, still to this day. Samantha, yeah. And then every once in a while, especially in situations like waiting tables or bartending where someone did ask my name, it always seemed like middle-aged men always had a really hard time calling me Sam. I would say Sam, and they'd be like, oh, is that short for Samantha? I don't know if it's because it's also like a guy's name, and they just like couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Like I refuse
but I'm physically
to
attracted to you, so I need you to be Samantha for my own masculinity.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So. Huh. But yeah, it doesn't get confused a lot.
No, I used to call you Samuel a lot.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore though. But all right, well, moving on. Good segue. I got nervous there for a second.
I was definitely nervous. Like, how do I end this conversation? Outburst. It was a nervous outburst.
I'm still working on my segue.
All right then.
And that's it. I've decided we're done with this conversation.
Oh boy. I do have some vanity updates.
All right, lay 'em on me.
I do feel like, I know everybody's just been waiting with bated breath to hear what's going on with the castor oil navel pulling.
Yeah.
And guys, believe what you will, think what you will. I think it works.
Yeah. Well, I mean, apparently there's a lot of other people who think so for it to be a thing.
And, you know, it's not like it's the only thing I'm doing to help aid my digestion. So it's always kind of hard to tell, like, is it this, is it that? But I will say, I feel like I've finally been using it consistently for about 6 weeks, doing it consistently for about 5 or 6 weeks. And I do feel like when I wake up in the morning, my stomach is flatter than it was previously.
Nice.
So I don't know.
Well, hey, if it makes you feel better, that's the thing about placebo effect, is that like, if you think
it's working,
then it's working.
Exactly.
What else do you want?
And it's one of those things that there's no like risk. It's just castor oil.
Right.
You're just rubbing castor oil in your belly button.
Yeah.
It's not like
if anything, you're just wasting 45 seconds a night.
Yeah.
So.
And I use it for other stuff, so it's not like I buy it just for that. So yeah. I think it's working. Also, I purchased recently this collagen wrapping mask. It's a Korean brand called Medicube. And you've probably seen those like sheet masks that kind of went viral, the collagen ones that you put on and they're white and then they turn clear and you're supposed to sleep in them. Mm-hmm. It just wasn't for me. They don't stay on super well. I didn't enjoy sleeping in it. I like woke up in the middle of the night and was like, like tearing it off my face. And so this one it's almost like a hair gel like consistency, and you put it on and it dries. And then when you peel it off the next day, it's like peeling off like sunburned skin.
Ooh, that's fun. Yeah. That alone is worth it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm telling you what, when you take it off in the morning, your skin is so just like plump and like it looks like glass, and the hydration from this collagen mask stays all day.
That's nice.
I'm obsessed with it. I will be purchasing it again.
I gotta get on that because I want supple skin. Who doesn't?
It's $18 on Amazon. Now, I don't know what's going to happen when the tariffs kick in because it's coming from Korea.
Yeah.
But run, don't walk.
Yeah.
And get yourself some Medicube.
Does it come in a jar?
Just a tube.
Oh, okay.
Literally, it just squirt like exactly like hair gel is what it reminds me of.
$18. That's pretty cheap. Actually.
Yeah, it's not bad. So
nice. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
The tariffs. No, I have to stock up on all my sunscreen.
I don't know. That's what Mark Cuban said to do.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, everything exported is going to be, imported is going to be crazy. Because I only buy Korean sunscreen. It's the only one I find that doesn't have like a crazy mask, and that I think is actually functional.
Yeah, I use one brand of Korean sunscreen that I like. You actually turned me on to it. Yes.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
It's good. And then my friend actually just recently sent me a Japanese one that she really likes that she just bought a bunch of because she's not sure what's going to happen. So I do have a couple of just moisturizers that have SPF in it, and then a couple of like CC creams that have SPF that I use too sometimes. But yeah, in terms of just like only sunscreen, that one Korean one is the one I use and I like it. Yeah. So anyway, I think those are my only vanity updates.
Nice.
Just two.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah.
You don't sound very vain to me based on those updates, so.
Well, you know. Oh, I actually have one more. I do have one more. So one thing I started doing probably about a couple of months ago, I started dry brushing. Have I talked about this?
No.
Okay. And again, it's one of those things where it's like, who knows? I'm going to try it. You can buy a dry brush for $6. And I do feel like it's kind of one of those things that you can decide how much time you want to put into it. You can do it for 3 minutes. You can do it for 20 minutes, you know? And I just looked up a YouTube tutorial on how to dry brush for lymphatic drainage is what I wanted to do it for. And I do it before I get in the shower, every time before I get in the shower. And I'm like a 3 to 5 minute, or I'm not spending a ton of time on it. But I will tell you what I noticed is I'm kind of a loser and I wear socks that come like halfway up my calf a lot.
Oh, no, I do too. That's cool. That's not losery.
Yeah. And so I have definitely noticed, and anybody who's probably ever been pregnant will know what I'm talking about, but when you get a little bit of like edema or like swelling in your legs and you touch it with your finger, the indentation will stay there for a second.
Oh, yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, when you're pregnant, you can like make a crater. And it's wild. But I have noticed occasionally before I started dry brushing, I would notice that sometimes when I would take my socks off, I always have a little mark from the cuff of the sock like you're always going to. But I did notice that sometimes I was like, oh, but there's also a little bit of swelling. Like above where the sock was, I could touch it and there'd be a little indentation. Ever since I started dry brushing, no more.
Yeah, you know, I think there is something to be said for
lymphatic drainage. Yeah.
Because I do gua sha.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty ritualistic about definitely doing it in my neck. And I can tell when I'm not regular about it. I really can tell a difference.
Yeah.
And again, maybe it's all in my head, but I don't think so. I think I really can see it. And yeah, I think there is truth to that.
Yeah, I used to do that, and then my child knocked it off the counter, and it's crystal.
Yeah, I had to get a new one.
It shattered,
too.
so I need to get a new one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was doing that, and I still do the rolling sometimes, but I don't feel like that really makes a difference.
Yeah,
I do feel like
I never really bought it, but I never really bought into the roller either.
Yeah.
But also, I really just love the way it feels, too. It's like a nice little massage at the end of the night.
Yeah.
I do.
And they say, like, you should be, like, massaging your skincare into your face as well. So,
yeah. I've been noticing, too, like, I'm a side sleeper.
Yeah.
And I've always had these, like, fat-ass cheeks. I think I'll just always have, like, little chipmunk cheeks. And I have this one killer crease wrinkle on my face from where I lay on my side and my like cheek fat folds.
Yeah.
And every once in a while in the morning I'll catch it like the sun just right. I'm like, oh my God. It looks like this morning I saw it, that's why I thought of it. And it looked like a scar.
Yeah.
Like, it looked like I've been sliced. And I was like, oh man, I wonder if I could gua sha that away. But I cannot just sleep on my back all night.
I can't either.
I know a lot of people are like, especially I hear a lot of like hair influencers talk about this, like you need to be like sleeping in a silk thing, only sleep on a certain way. And I was like, I just can't do it. Like,
I'm sorry,
I don't know
who's actually sleeping on their back?
I don't know.
Who are these people?
I don't know how you control that at night. Like once you're out, I mean, I've been told
your body's just going to do what your body wants to do.
How do you just like sleep like
this all
night
sleep like
long?
a vampire? I mean,
more power to you if you can do it, but man, there's no way.
I saw some influencer I follow shared a pillow for side sleepers that's supposed to help with.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But I'm just like,
but I mean, is it a problem?
No,
except
it's
for
just
like
a vanity
reasons?
No,
Yeah.
exactly. No, I don't think so.
So I'm not that concerned about it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
There's only
not.
so much I can do.
I'm not buying a pillow. I'm not sleeping on my back. I'm not doing it.
Not gonna happen.
Well, alrighty then.
We're done. Moving on.
Okay, are we getting into our topic?
Sure.
Okay. The other thing I think we need to just bring to the forefront is that we're really only watching Beverly Hills Housewives and it's on the reunion. And so I think for now, we're just going to take a break from the reality check episodes. And when we do, we will do reality check episodes, like dedicate a whole episode to it. But right now we don't. And so we'll just throw it in as a segment more towards the end of the episode. So if you're somebody that, isn't interested in the reality TV segment, you can just go ahead and log off. The other thing too is, we've talked about this offline and we feel like some of our best conversations have blossomed out of those episodes. And a lot of those episodes have been some of our best and really apply to a much bigger picture than just the shows that we're talking about. And we don't want to alienate anyone who is like, oh, I'm not going to listen to the reality check episode because I don't watch those shows.
Yeah.
Because we understand you don't necessarily want to hear about like the narrative of the shows and the people so much because you don't watch it. But I feel like you are missing out on some good conversations and some good content from us. So,
because we definitely get into like the minutia of what goes on in the shows, but then also that kind of propels different conversations.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Yeah. So for now, I think you'll just be finding reality check segments in the episodes when we have stuff to talk about, and we'll just kind of see how it evolves. Okay, so today we just are going to talk a little bit about representation of female friendship through pop culture, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit in comparison to representation of male friendship, I think, but kind of just representation of friendship.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially when it comes to females, I think a lot of what we were talking about is like, do we think the representation we see in TV and film is an accurate representation of our experience in friendship?
Yes.
And the thing about reality TV that's so funny is that, you know, there's so many things to talk about and relate to, but I will say so many of the conflicts that happen on reality television between the housewives, I have never experienced in my friendships, which we've talked about before. And I have never in any of my adult friendships fought with a female friend.
Not as an adult, no. And
I mean, like maybe teenagers, adolescents, sure, but not even to that degree.
No.
So it is kind of like, that is the thing where it's like, is this an accurate representation of life? But I don't know. Is it a cultural? Is it because we're not insanely rich women who live in these like?
No, I don't think so.
These cities, or is it like, you know? Does that mean they're putting it on a little bit for the show? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of where the idea for this episode came from. Is, you know, we were talking in a previous episode about the reason why we like to watch reality TV. And we won't get into all that again because we talked about it before. But one of the things that we kind of missed and didn't touch on is the fact that we talked about the things that the women go through that are relatable, that are things that are happening in their real lives. We talked about how it gives women a platform, which is something that we think is positive for the most part. One of the things we didn't really touch on, though, is the fact that we are aware it is a produced television show and that the majority of the drama and the fights is a produced narrative.
Yeah, and it's heightened.
And that's the point.
Yeah.
You know, and so that kind of makes it not an accurate representation of what true adult female friendship is like. And it doesn't mean that people aren't going to have disagreements with their friends or, you know, whatever. But the other interesting part of reality TV in that regard is, and this kind of played out a little bit in White Lotus, which we're going to get into, but I definitely think there is a common theme in female friendship where you do, when you're kind of paired off outside of your group of friends, you do sometimes talk about your other friends.
Yeah.
But it's not malicious and it's not gossipy. And it's one of those things where not everything is meant for everyone's ears. And when you have a reality show like that, not only are they having their confessionals where they're talking about what happens, but they're also then going back and then watching the shows and seeing what everybody says about them when they're not around, which is not how we experience friendship in the real world.
Yeah.
It's similar to like venting about your spouse or your partner to your friend.
Right.
I think that's a normal, healthy thing that people do. Like, oh God.
Yeah,
like
it prevents crazy reactionary behavior.
Yes, because you got to pick your battles.
Yeah.
And you know, it's one of those things that like, in 10 minutes after you vent to your friend about, you're not even going to be mad about it anymore.
Yeah, you just needed to get it off your chest.
And that conversation is not meant for your spouse's ears.
Right.
And so that's similar to, you know, the show where it's like, that's just another layer of what makes it not like friendship in real life.
It's like that whole thing. I always thought this was so funny too, which is a common phrase I remember hearing that a lot of women say, especially on like talk shows of back in the day, where it's like, well, don't say it behind my back, say it to my face. I'm like, no, say it behind my back.
Yeah.
I do not want you confronting me with every little thought about me.
Absolutely
like,
not.
Say it to your other friend, your husband, your boyfriend. Like, I do not want you to tell me to my face every little thing you think about me.
No, neither do I.
Talk shit about me.
I'm perfect. Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly happy not knowing every grievance you have with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that was such a common trope, and I feel like it's died off a little bit, but used to be such a, you would hear all the time. Women
and even you hear it, I feel like even on the Housewives, they'll be like, oh, I've said this to her face. Or like, would you say it? Yeah, I'll say it to her face.
Yeah. And the whole dynamic of like a second layer, which I feel like is now a thing in the later years of Housewives, was the whole like, okay, we had this conflict, and then at the reunion, we've heard this other reaction.
Right.
that now has added another layer to the conflict.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, because I feel like they kind of get over things
yeah.
as the season goes on, and then they go watch the episodes back, and they're like,
oh, I'm mad again.
Yeah, now I'm pissed again. Yeah. Yeah. And it is interesting because I do think the feelings and the emotions are genuine. It's just the means to those feelings and emotions are produced, you know?
Well, and exactly. Like the reactions are true, but all the conflict is heightened in general. You know what I mean? Like it's all kind of blown out of proportion.
A lot of it is just full on produced. I mean, a lot of it's not even. Some of it spurs out of organic situations, I think, and then they just fuel it.
Like the conflict is like way more overly produced than it normally, even if it.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And sometimes I don't think it even starts with something true. I think they just sometimes just. This is what we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be really interesting to be a producer on that show.
Right? Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like
what a strange job.
Yeah. Yeah. So strange. And every once in a while I've listened to a few interviews with producers from shows like that, but it's always just like, I don't know if I trust anything any of you are saying while you're working for the show. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Because I'm sure they have all kinds of crazy like NDAs and stuff they can't say.
Yeah, I don't know how all that works because, now that we have all these social media platforms and podcasts and everything, there's a lot more breaking the fourth wall than there ever was before. And they even do it on the show now a little bit. Not a ton, but a little bit. But you have, they are allowed to talk about a lot more than they ever were before. I mean, there was never any hint of anything being produced. I mean, it was just very much like you had to believe that they're just following them with cameras and that's it. I mean, so I don't know, but it is, who knows? Like if it's probably just the tip of the iceberg.
Right. And that poses a good question too, is like, I know we call it reality TV, but it's like, do I need it to be real? No, that's the thing.
We don't.
That's why I feel like when so many people feel like they're calling it out to be like, well, it's so produced.
Like they think we're being duped.
Yeah, like I care.
Yeah, like they think we're being fooled.
It's not because I'm watching it for reality. I'm watching it for entertainment.
Yes.
Like, whether or not you believe that entertainment is worthy enough, that's another discussion. But we know it's not 100% real. Nothing on TV is.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? Nothing's real.
Nothing's real. Yeah, no. Nothing's real. We're just flying through space on a rock. Yeah. And the magma will prevail.
Yeah.
But we mentioned previously White Lotus, and that was honestly, the girls were like my favorite part of the whole show.
I mean, they could be a spinoff. I feel like they could be the crux of an entire show.
Yeah. And I loved the way the friendships were represented in this season, and I loved the way it ended. I know you had a differing opinion, but I really thought Carrie Coon was going to come in there and just like be like, you bitches are toxic, I hate this, and it changed, and I was like, oh. And then I felt like it felt honest and heartfelt, and just that I don't know. I just liked it. I liked that it wasn't you guys are toxic bitches and I'm out of here, because at the end of the day, they weren't doing anything different than what we truly do as women, really. Not really. Right. And there was that little bit of like jealousy and like insecurity issue, but that's also things that women face in real life. And they really came together in the end, and it was just a true appreciation of the longevity, I think, too, of these women being friends and being able to grow and evolve, but still come together and appreciate who they have become in their lives.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I don't know why I was kind of disappointed. Like, not like I wanted some giant blow up. And I do think that what she said, her last little speech there at the end, was probably more true to life than what like a calling them each out would have been.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. Yeah, I was a little disappointed. Like, I wish there was a little bit more of
you wanted some accountability from
all
of them. Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, I think, like you said, I think that was probably a more accurate depiction of what would have happened.
Yeah.
Because I don't think a lot of us are comfortable or capable with confrontation and conflict like we see on the Housewives. You know what I mean? Like, what happened was probably truly what would have happened. Yeah. You know, like, I could see myself, that's probably how I would have reacted. I would have acquiesced a little bit. And not that she wasn't being honest. You know, like, I'm just
I think that's our difference of opinion. I think you see it more of her as an acquiesce, where I don't see it that way. I see it as more of a realization of the appreciation of these friendships that she's had for so long, and just being able to sit in it and say, yeah, like, this is special. Yeah. Like, we're totally different people maybe now than we were then, but also maybe not. And here we are all these years later, and this is a beautiful thing. And I'm happy to be at the table. Like, I could have cried.
Yeah. But I just want to be like, but is it a beautiful thing? Are you enjoying each other? Or are you just saying, yeah, it's a beautiful thing? Because I don't know. Because you don't want to confront the fact that maybe this friendship isn't healthy for any of you.
Yeah, see, I didn't get that. Because I really didn't think, like, I don't know. I mean, everybody has their shit and everybody has their insecurities. And when you've been friends for a long time, you're going to see the worst side of people. You're going to see their best side and you're going to see their worst side. And to me, there wasn't anything that happened that was like, oh, you guys are shitty people. Not really. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. And like I said, I don't know what resolution would have made me like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know? And maybe that's the point, is that, like, that's how most relationships are, is like, they're not always perfect.
Right.
They're not always going to be tied up with a bow. But yeah, that's kind of the point of friendship, is that you, like you said, kind of take the good with the bad. And
I thought too, there's always such a huge emphasis these days, and not that I don't think this is important in friendships and with a partner, where it's like your partner and your friends, everybody should be validating your feelings, like your feelings are valid, which they are. And I do think that's important. But I also think there's something to be said for, like, not making other people responsible all the time for your feelings, and just being able to, like, sit in your feelings sometimes. And I kind of felt like that's what she was doing. She sort of was taking responsibility for her feelings about maybe some of the decisions that she had made in her life, instead of, like, putting it on them to validate her feeling about the situation with the guy her friend slept with. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There was almost, that's kind of how it came off to me a little bit. And I liked that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I can get behind that.
Well, speaking of White Lotus, what did we think?
About the end?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm one of those people that watches the show where, like, I don't ever make guesses, because I never know, you know what I mean? And I don't like to, like, not waste my time. I don't like to spend my time, like, trying to, like,
figure
guess.
It out.
And yeah, I just like to be surprised. So I was like, oh snap, I didn't really see that coming. It was really sad that the girlfriend died. Obviously that was horrible, because she was the best. But
yeah, I feel like she kind of had a target on her back. But
why? Because she was his girlfriend, or just because she was the one in the show that everybody loved?
Both. Yeah. But I really did think they were trying to distract us with that storyline too. I was like, oh, they're trying to distract us with this, him going after this guy like he's going to kill him, and then it's going to be something totally unexpected that's going to happen. And then it really wasn't. I mean, that was it. And then as soon as he drew the gun and started shooting, I was like, the girlfriend's dead. Yeah. Like, that, it's done. And yeah, I mean, the whole thing with the family seemed very, like, it had nothing to do with anything.
Oh, the Parker Posey family?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And then, like, oh, he died, but oh, he didn't.
But he didn't.
Yeah, I know. And then they were just there by themselves. You know, when the kid was in his dad's arm almost dying. Yeah. Just, like, nothing happened with that. You don't know. There was no resolution with, like, what happened when they got back.
Right.
Yeah, there were a lot of this season's storylines, I thought the Walton Goggins storyline was weird too.
It was weird.
It was just kind of out of nowhere. And then the whole confrontation with the father earlier, I thought was odd and strange. And the Sam Rockwell character, I was just like,
that
whole
story he told
I know,
I don't
know what that had to do with anything.
I don't know what that had to do with anything other than, and this is, I'm just going to say this. I feel like, especially HBO,
shock factor.
You can't have a story that takes place in Thailand without some
Subversive.
shocking story about ladyboys.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Well, it's just like, how subversive can we get? Like, I get that maybe he was trying to like paint this picture of what Walton Goggins' life used to be, maybe. But
yeah,
also, that really doesn't have any pertinence to the
No.
father storyline.
No.
Or why they were there at all.
No.
Yeah, there were a lot of just loose ends where I was just like, what? Well, what about what? How do these things all go together? But yeah, I mean, I thought they wrapped it up well. I mean, the ending worked. It tied in.
Yeah.
What's his face, who ended up killing
Guy
them.
Talk and Mook. Yeah.
But yeah, it all seemed a little bit more contrived this year than the other ones that were so surprising.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
And I mean, I guess it's what happens after multiple seasons. But
I know.
Like, we already kind of know what's coming.
well, and it's hard to like really pinpoint anything else. And I mean, I hate to say it, but it's like, did Jennifer Coolidge just carry the show?
Yeah, I mean, her character was great.
Her character was so amazing. And like,
yeah, and you know what sucks is I thought the character with who was Jennifer Coolidge was going to donate all that money to, I thought their storyline was whack also.
yeah, it was a little strange. It really didn't have anything to do with anything either.
No, I mean, it was almost just like, we got to tie up what happened with Jennifer Coolidge.
Right.
Yeah, because when we saw that guy, I was like, oh, something good's going
Because
to happen.
otherwise there was almost no point for her ex to even be in it.
Right.
Without some, yeah.
Yeah, because when we saw Jennifer Coolidge's ex-husband, I was like, oh, this is going to get good.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, I brought my son. We sort of bartered with him in a room for a minute, and then we somehow walked away with the money scot-free.
I mean,
that just seems like what?
Yeah.
Kind of.
I don't know if it was necessarily scot-free. I can't remember exactly what was said, but the son was like, and she did say something to the effect of, I told him we'd have his back, or we were, you know what I mean? I can't remember exactly what the line was, but there was a small nod to like, maybe there's some.
You assume that she's never gonna say anything. That's what I got. Like,
yeah, but I guess
to keep her mouth shut. But
right.
There's not like.
I do feel like whatever she said kind of made it feel like there was maybe something else involved. But then she talked about, well, and we talked about this too offline, where it was like, was it just an opportunity for her to like do to Porn Shy what Jennifer Coolidge did to her too?
Well, yeah, that was the only interesting part of it, is that she turned around, and had these kind of, just spoken terms with somebody, like she did with Jennifer Coolidge.
Except it wasn't as...
But it was kind of. I mean, they talked about it in passing, and they were like...
Yeah, but Jennifer Coolidge is the one that said she was going to invest in her business. She didn't say that to Porn Shy. He was like, we should start a business together, and she was just like, oh.
Sure, yeah. So, yeah. I mean, maybe not exactly the same, but pretty close. Yeah. But
yeah, I don't know. It was okay.
I just really hope they don't do any more seasons. Just let it be. Just let it be what it was. Let the White Lotus end. Well, should we talk about some examples of good female representation?
Yes. What do we have?
Well, first and foremost, one of the greatest films of all time, Now and Then.
Just wonderful.
Yeah. So good.
So good. And that is such a great portrayal of female friendship from childhood into adulthood.
Yeah.
And it could not have been cast better.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Even, especially like the older versions.
Yes.
Such a great connection to the younger ones.
Yes.
And I think too, there's something about representation of friendship in multiples, like a group of 4.
Yeah.
That works better, I think, because it's easier to represent all sides of
a
person. as opposed to just like 2 where you really got to nail it down on each character. The same thing with girls.
Yeah.
You can kind of see yourself in all of them, and you kind of, because I remember Now and Then, the fun thing was in my group of friends, you got to like,
who are you?
You are, yeah.
Of course, we all wanted to be Teeny.
Nobody wanted to be
And
Chrissy.
I mean, obviously, I had to be Samantha. There was no other choice. So, just me and old Gabby Hoffman, who was also in Girls.
Yeah.
Have we talked about this before?
I don't know. But watching Girls, I was like, how do I know her? Because she looks very different. Because she was also in Sleepless in Seattle.
I don't know if I've ever seen that.
What? Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. Is it
it's
Sandra
classic
Bullock?
rom-com. No, it's
it?
Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
You've got mail?
And
While you were
Rosie O'Donnell.
While you were sleeping is what I was thinking.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's
too.
Sandra Bullock,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay.
But Rosie O'Donnell, my girl, she's in Sleepless in Seattle too.
Yes. And Now and Then. The old Rosie fan club over here.
Yeah.
But it is also, I feel like, a good representation of a group of friends, but then like sort of the best friendships within that group.
Yeah. How you naturally pair off.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a pretty accurate portrayal of what friendship is like at that age, especially the younger age. I mean, you don't see them as much as adults. It really focuses more on when they're kids.
Yeah.
And obviously that was a time period that we didn't grow up in. So,
yeah.
But I feel like it's very accurate, just like the things that they're doing and the things they're talking about and
how they tease each other, how they confide in each other. Dear Johnny.
Oh my God.
We'll never forget Dear Johnny.
No. And she's in the drain and he saves her.
Yeah. Oh my God. What a sweet old man. And that soundtrack really slaps too.
Oh yeah. It's very
Great
good.
soundtrack.
Yeah.
There's also a pretty good depiction of male friendship in that. Devon Sawa and his crew.
They're his brothers.
They're all brothers
Yeah.
though? Oh, okay. Never mind.
The Wormers.
I thought they were like 2 brothers and friends.
No, they're all brothers, I think. But yes. And just like also what it's like interacting in a group of girls versus a group of boys at that age.
I also remember trying so hard to get a sneak at Devon Sawa naked in that movie.
When he's in the towel.
You like pausing it and be like, rewind just a little bit. Rewind just a little bit. No, fuck, you can't see it.
Oh my God. Because
man.
you can for a split second.
But on a VCR, like old school TV, they're
No.
not coming through.
Mm-mm.
Unfortunate. Yeah, that's one of those movies that like
I saw it. I saw his thing. Who's Scott's? Was it big?
Yes. That's exactly word for word.
It was only big when a guy has a hard on. And she's like, what's a hard on?
Oh, and talk about psychic. Talking about divorce at a time when divorce wasn't a thing.
Yeah, what a great movie.
I know, it
So
never gets
good.
old. It really does.
Oh, no,
Hold
it
on.
never gets old. Are you kidding me? It's one of those ones that, like, I start to get anxious when it's over.
Yeah.
Do you ever do that with
Yeah,
you're like,
you're like,
no.
I just want to keep watching
Yes,
forever.
can it just keep going on and on?
No.
Yeah.
I know, you want like another update, like when they're 60 or whatever.
Yeah, like,
you know?
what are they up to now?
Yeah, man.
Now and now. Like, who needs a walk to remember? Do Now and Then. Now and now. Just call
Or
it now.
do a walker to remember, and like, what are they doing now? Get it? Because they're old.
But
Mandy Moore's dead. Shane, what's his
spoiler
face?
alert,
Old.
she died. Oh man.
Spoiler alert, he did fall in love with her. She did get cancer and she did die.
And they did get married to have sex. We all know that.
Yeah.
There's no fooling
Come
us.
on.
Okay, since we talked about girls a little bit, let's move on to girls.
So good.
So good.
I mean, I know Lena Dunham gets so much flack, but Girls was great. It was ahead of its time.
So ahead of its time.
I rewatched it kind of recently, and it's still so good. And talk about, it's one of those shows on the surface, you're like, I hate all the characters so much, but it's because they're so realistic and true.
Yeah.
And it is really one of those things where like you see yourself and your bad behavior in each one of them. And your good behavior too, you know?
Yeah.
And like watching it, binging it from start to finish too, I picked up on so much more, like the way it started and the way it ended were very much connected. And
yeah. And I think it's such a great portrayal of what friendship is like at that time in your life when you're just trying to figure everything out and you have no idea who you are, what you want, what you're going to do, and just the layers that come with that, and sort of figuring out your differences, but also at the same time, like having that true, just like through thick and thin, like loyal friendship, you know? It's a really, really good one.
Yeah, and just funny and...
Yeah, hilarious.
But there was parts like Shoshana eventually was just like, fuck you bitches, I don't want to be friends with you anymore.
Yeah.
When you know, and like maybe that's where some of that was coming with White Lotus, where it's like, at what point do you recognize some of your friendships are, hey, it was great for this time, right? But I can't, this friendship isn't serving me anymore, and I just gotta like move on.
And that's a real thing. And yeah, it is, because she never really comes back around.
No. She gets engaged.
And then that's it. And like, isn't it kind of at her engagement party that she tells him to fuck off?
They're all in the bathroom, and she's just like, you know, I'm finally happy. I finally figured out, you know, what I want to do and who I am. And it doesn't include you guys.
Right.
And then, you know, she gets pregnant and her and Marnie kind of like move in together. It's like,
the end is a little weird. I'll be honest. I really wanted her and Adam to raise the baby together. I did.
Yeah.
When they're in that diner and they're like having the conversation and he's like, I'll do it.
Because they're perfect
for each other.
It's like, who else in the world would be able to love each other?
There's somebody for everybody and they're them.
I know. And I never liked Adam and Jessa together. I mean, I guess if he wasn't going to be with Lena, I guess Jessa would be a close second because she's also, you know.
Yeah.
Nutty.
And I do feel like it is interesting how the group does kind of break up.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is just her and Marnie at the end. Like, what's Jessa doing? Because they're like cousins, aren't they? Her and
Jessa and Shoshana are cousins.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But I feel like
I can't remember what
Hannah
happens
and
with
Jessa were the closest friends.
Yeah.
Of the two. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember what happens with Jessa.
I can't either, really. I want to say that she kind of just...
Do her and Hannah come back around after?
I think at Shoshana's engagement, so there's some sort of resolution, like they're speaking.
Right.
But after that, I don't think you really
She's
know.
not really in it then after that much. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely one where you're kind of seeing multiple different paths that friendships can take.
Yeah.
You know? And yeah. It's a good one. But yeah, the ending was a little weird for me, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And then doesn't Marnie kind of make the realization that, like, I don't really need to be here doing this?
The end was
Hannah's got to figure it out on her own.
Hannah's mom
she finally gets the baby to latch, and then it just ends, doesn't it?
Yeah, it ends with her breastfeeding. That was one of the characters where I was like, she hasn't been resolved. Marnie, where it's just like, Marnie will always be just forever
in flux.
But I did love... Similar to that episode of The Last of Us where it was just the couple, Marnie had a solo episode where she reunites with her ex-boyfriend from the first season.
Yeah, and they go on that little adventure.
They had this like crazy one fun night, and then it turns out he's a heroin addict and living in this horrible apartment, and she comes home and breaks up with Desi. That was a great episode.
Yeah.
That was the one where you're like, oh, I don't hate Marnie.
Yeah. I know. I go back and forth where it's like, God, Marnie's the worst. Yeah. And then sometimes I'm like, oh.
I know.
Yeah.
There is a person like way deep down there that I can relate to.
Yeah.
But
well, she doesn't stand a chance with her mother.
Yeah. No.
Like the few scenes with her mom is just like, oh my God, they're the same person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shall we move on to perhaps the most accurate portrayal of female adolescence and friendship of all time?
If you have not watched Pen15, do yourself a favor.
If you are our age,
yeah.
If you are 35 to 40 years old and you've not watched Pen15 on Hulu, run, don't walk to your television and turn it on, because it might be the most accurate portrayal I've ever seen of female adolescence, and it captures the zeitgeist of that time so perfectly.
Yeah. And
it's amazing.
I'm so curious to know what the writing of those episodes was like. Like if they sat together in a room, we're just like, let's think of all the most hilarious and embarrassing things of our adolescence, and then how can we tie it together? Or if they started with a story and then things pop up and they figure out a way to just seamlessly fit them all into the storyline. Because I mean,
it's making me want to go back and rewatch it.
Me too.
Yeah.
The accuracy is just
unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the execution, like the acting, I mean, they are 12-year-old girls.
Oh yeah.
Like I mean, obviously they're in there.
They're like 34 when they're doing it, but they may as well be 13. Yeah, it's crazy. The episode where they get on AIM.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. It's just the best.
And masturbation.
Oh
female
my gosh.
Adolescent masturbation. I don't know, has it ever been broached?
No,
on
probably
television
not.
Before, which I mean, that just set me free.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, oh, I'm not a total freak. Other people masturbated too when they were young. Okay, cool.
I know the way you're just like looking in the mirror the entire series. It's
God,
like, oh my god, hilarious!
It is so validating in so many ways.
I was so sad when it ended. I mean,
I know. I really thought they were gonna do more.
I know, but it's one of those things that it's perfect.
It's better.
Yeah,
it's better. Just let it lie.
Right. Exactly.
I was just preaching that, so I should probably.
Yes, you were.
Another one too, which is an excellent representation of women at a different age, is The Sweetest Thing, which is one of my favorite rom-coms. When you put that on the list, I was like, oh my god, I completely forgot.
It's like strangely accurate, even though it's a comedy movie, so all the situations are exaggerated.
Yeah. It's like almost slapstick kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still somehow so accurate in the way that women interact, and just even that opening scene where she's exercising up the hill and she's talking to Christina Applegate on the phone, and
you can tell. Well, I honestly don't know who wrote it, but
woman wrote this. Had to have been,
because the dialogue between women and the way they interact. Yeah, a man could not write that.
No, I don't think so. It has to be a woman. Should we fact check that? Written by Nancy Pimental.
Way to go, Nance. You
nailed
it.
Nancy definitely nailed it. I would have probably guessed that it was directed by a woman too, but no.
Should we talk about representation of toxic female friendships?
Toxic female friendships. Yeah, I couldn't even think of anything.
I know. Mean Girls, Heathers. Oh, I don't think I've seen Heathers.
I've never heard of Heathers.
Heathers is a pretty popular 80s movie about teenage girls who are horrible to each other. Like the Heathers, like the popular girls.
Oh, of course they are. Yeah, I need to be seeing that. Well, of course, Mean Girls. I don't know why I didn't think of that one.
Yeah. Bridesmaids has some toxic
I thought about that movie too, and then I couldn't remember enough about it to remember if it was.
Oh man, I've watched it so many times.
All I can really remember is when they all get diarrhea at the thing.
Yeah, that is the famous scene.
Yeah,
it's a good example of both. They're toxic. There's some toxic friendship in there, and then they resolve it.
Yeah,
there's like a really strong.
It's also like one of those. I mean,
it's an SNL thing.
Yeah, and it's also because it's a comedy. It's and it's like a really over the top comedy. Yeah. So it's hard to sometimes pull the realistic stuff out of those. Yeah,
for sure.
The Craft is a fantastic movie. Love it. It's great.
That's one I couldn't tell you exactly everything that happened.
Oh man, I could tell you everything. Yeah, she's the new girl, and she goes to the news. Her mom dies.
Is that the one? Oh, where she gets her scars scraped off of her?
Yep.
Back, Nev Campbell. I remember that.
Yep. Yeah. She goes to a new school. She meets these girls. She's kind of like clairvoyant or witchy. She gets in with the witches, and they're doing all the witchy stuff. And
it turns out she's a real witch, as opposed to just like
the
friends who are kind of pretending to be witches.
Yes, and then they all turn on her.
Yeah.
And the one Nancy, she goes bad. She gets into the black magic and starts doing stuff. And then she has to bind her. She says, I bind you, Nancy, from doing harm. Harm to yourself and harm to others. I bind you, Nancy, from doing harm.
And of course, light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Oh, yeah. Light as a feather, stiff as a board.
We tried that multiple times.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Everyone did light as a feather, stiff as a board. Yeah, and then the end when all the like snakes are coming out of the toilets and dropping down off the ceilings, and they come after her. Blech. And then they almost really hurt her. And then
that's right. In their house. Then they like come to her house.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember more than it's all coming back to me now.
Yeah, and then they apologize. The very last scene of the movie, they like come to her house and Nancy dies. So there's that. And then the other two girls come to her house to like apologize. And she's like, oh, I don't know, they're like trying to be friends again. And she's like, oh, I don't know, maybe, like, we'll see. And they're like, do you still have your powers? They're like, we don't have our powers. And she's like, oh, I don't know, And then they turn to leave and this big branch falls off the tree, like in front of them. And they like turn around and she's just kind of like,
I don't know.
That's the ending scene.
Nice. That's a good ending.
It's a great ending.
Yeah.
Does Nancy die when she's trying to attack her? I can't remember what happens, but... She does not make it.
Sorry, Nance. Should have been such a bad
Well, she
witch.
kills that guy. Is it Skeet Ulrich?
I could not tell you who Skeet
It's
Ulrich
not
is.
Skeet Ulrich. Is it? Or is it the same guy from that's the killer in Scream that she's takes up to the bedroom?
Oh, that guy? Yeah, he is in Scream.
Yeah. She takes him up to the bedroom and then she ends up pushing him off the balcony and killing him.
Does say he's in Craft.
Because that's who the girl has Nancy put the love spell, wants him to be in love with her.
Yeah. Imagine being named Skeet. Obviously, that's probably not his God-given name.
Why would you choose that?
I don't know.
Strange.
Did I ever tell you the story about Skeet from high school?
No.
So in high school, they would do announcements over the intercom, and for like different sports events and stuff, whoever was the team captain would write the results of whatever match was the day before, and then the principal who read the announcements would just read these pieces of paper.
I can see where this is going.
And I won't say his name, but he was on the tennis team. They won. And so the next day on the announcements, we heard the principal go, boys tennis team won their match 24-love last night. Skeet, skeet. It was pretty funny. Everybody laughed. Good story.
Well, alrighty then.
Next
topic. Oh, man.
All right. What else we got?
Should we get into gripes and gripes?
Oh, yes.
Okay. My gripe is going to the fact that for whatever reason, I cannot order certain items for Kroger pickup that I know are available in the store because I regularly shop inside the store.
Yeah.
And every once in a great while, I'll go to do a pickup order because I'm like, oh, that would be convenient. I really just need like this, and this, and this. I can just pick it up. And I'll go to order something and it says not available for pickup. And I'm like, that is something I buy every time I go to the store. What are you talking about? I don't get it.
That's super gripey.
Why?
Yeah, what about it is not
right.
pick-upable?
I don't understand.
And those things too, there's never going to be an answer. So it's just going to drive you crazy for the rest of the time. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, I thought this was supposed to be convenient.
You should write a strongly worded letter to the White Star Line about that.
I should. Absolutely. I don't understand it. I don't know if it's like just items that maybe I don't know, that they feel like they don't keep in stock very well, that they don't want to have to be replacing all the time. But like, I buy this every time I come here.
Right.
You always have it. What do you mean?
Yeah. Just give it to me.
Just give it to me.
Grape?
My grape is going to Flaming Hot Cheetos with a side of Diet Coke.
Oh, wow.
There's just really nothing better than just like chasing chemicals with chemicals, I feel like.
See, I don't love Flaming Hot Cheetos, but I know they are like a cult classic. Everybody loves them.
They're fabulous.
Are they really hot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's why I don't like them, because they're too hot for me.
They're so horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, just
if you're
full of dye and chemicals.
Yeah, the red one. That's like the worst.
Oh, yeah. Red dye number 40.
Yeah.
Red number 40. Yellow number 5. For sure. Chock full.
Chock full.
I don't care.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to get it, you might as well get it all.
Yeah, and you're not getting one without the other.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No.
You're going full carcinogen and just diving in.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what carcinogens are for, doubling up.
Yeah.
Or doubling down.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, my grape goes out to my birthday bench. I ordered this bench. Well, my mom technically ordered it for me as a birthday gift. It was a real risk because it was marked down from $400 to like $100. This patio
Why
bench.
does everyone hate this?
I know, and I was like, is this going to be worth it? Because this could be marked down for a number of reasons, making the bench unwantable. But I got it, and it's sturdy, it's comfortable, and it looks good.
It makes a very nice addition to your front porch.
Yeah, it really makes it feel complete.
Yeah.
So, loving that. And then my gripe goes out to cars that customize their brake lights to be different than every other brake light on the road.
How is that legal?
Right. It's distracting. I don't think you should do it. I don't think maybe it's not allowed, but I've been seeing them every so often where it's like a cool, different kind of flash, and it's in a different spot. And it's just like, no, they all need to be uniform so we all know what it means. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's always on like some douchey.
Feels like a safety issue.
It's on some douchey truck where it's just like, no, you can't be doing this. We
Right.
need them to be uniform for a reason.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So quit it with that.
Yeah. Get off it.
Yeah. Moff it. All right. We're about to be moff this episode.
Yeah. Well, alrighty then. Bye.
That's it.